I'm going to get the recording started. I got my big mason, big mason jar of water.
Because then you have to fill it up fewer times.
It's not practical.
Can you hear me okay on these headphones?
I think so. You know what? I didn't grab headphones, but I think it'll be okay. I hope it'll be okay.
All right. Hi, Kristen. I saw you say hi. Hi, guys.
Yay. Okay, everyone, we are going to go ahead and get started. This is beautiful. I am going to lead us in a prayer, and we're just going to get centered before we start. It's just been kind of, especially if you're here live, it's been a long day. So let's go ahead and just take a few deep breaths before we get started. Through your nose, out through your mouth. I'm going to do just a few more of those myself. And I'd like to thank all of the plant spirits that are joining us on this call today, all of the wonderful plant allies and supporters who are diffusing in the room, on my wrists and my neck, and all of the support that I'm feeling today from those plant spirits, from our guides, from my guide, the Ascended Master and Goddess Isis, Mary Magdalene, who's very special to both Faye and I, Mother Mary, our business council, our guides who are here to help us speak our truth, but also speak what it is that that's supposed to come through for this whether you're here live, watching the replay, everything that needs to be shared, please let it be shared clearly and efficiently. And let us all take a moment to, as we are talking about these beautiful oils, just sending extra gratitude to Gaia, to Sophia Gaia, Mother Earth, and that beautiful connection. When we align with her, it helps us recalibrate into our mindset of abundance in a really healthy way, in a really, really healthy way. So thank you, Sophia Gaia, for everything that you're providing as well. The computers that we are speaking through, the oils that we're talking about, all of the things that we are using to make this call happening and this gathering happening. So amen.
Amen.
Let's, Faye, why don't you go ahead and get us started and tell us about your story with Young Living.
Okay. I'm going to first tell you my story about network marketing, and then I'm going to tell you my story about Young Living.
Okay.
And so my story about network marketing is basically that I married Adam, but before I married Adam, I dated Adam. And when we were dating, he was really into this supplement. It's like a food that he was, a superfood. Anyways, and he was like all about it. He really, really loved it. And I had tried it. It was great. It made me feel really good. And then he was like, yeah, and sometimes I sell this stuff. And I was like, you mean like network marketing? And he was like, yeah, he wasn't like super committed or anything. He had his own business, but honestly, it was almost to me like a deal breaker. Like I briefly was like, I don't know about this guy. And if you know Adam, like if you know Adam, you know that if I had left Adam, I mean, Adam is like literally an angel sent from above. And, but I had set, and I didn't know anything about network marketing or what that meant. I just had this idea that it was like for losers, that it was a scam, that I just had a chip on my shoulder about it.
Yeah.
Anyways, luckily he wasn't that into it, so I was able to we moved on, and we still have a lot of that supplement in our house, and it's great. We use it. It doesn't expire, so we use it all the time. And so when I came into contact with Young Living oils, I'd worked with essential oils for, here and there off and on for a long time. But there was something so special about Young Living essential oils. I couldn't deny it. I was like, there is something about these oils, especially the blend that really caught my heart was Sarah, which is a blend for emotional support. And it's really floral and has a lot of geranium in it. It's quite lovely. I highly recommend it. And I couldn't deny these oils and I wanted them in my life. So I bought them on the side. It was sort of there's nothing illegitimate about buying oils from somebody, but I just kind of felt like, don't sign me up for anything. And I'm kind of like that. If I'm only subscribed to newsletters that I really want to be subscribed to. And I unsubscribe liberally, I unfollow liberally.
Yeah.
So to be signed up for something was like, no. And what happened was that I started my friend, Sarah Petruno, who you guys know and who's here. Hi, Sarah. And she was all about essential oils and was talking about them. And she talked about having the same feeling about network marketing. And so I was like, well, she's into it. Just kind of curious. She made it safe for me to become curious about it because I knew she was, a good person with a good heart. I really respect and admire her. And I felt like, okay, well, maybe if she's doing it, I can at least sign up to buy the oils. And so I did that. And I knew from the moment that I had them that I would be sharing about them. I would be sharing about them with my whole family. I'd be sharing about them with my internet family. I'd be sharing about them in my business. And so I thought, well, why not just make some commissions? I could pay for my oils, And what has happened since I did that, and there's been a few punctuations in my journey where my other dear friend who's on our team, Karina, had a baby. And so I brought her some samples, especially Sarah, and she bought her kit. And Karina was like, well, maybe we could do this together. And Karina and I have been having so much fun and reconnecting. We're old friends and doing this together. That in itself is this huge blessing that has come from this journey. Sarah and I have gotten to connect in really wonderful ways. And now Katie, you and I are connected in this wonderful new way. And I think that the moment I said okay, I'll try this out, this waves of abundance and affluence started to come. And then just even maybe 90 days ago, I would say, I was like, you know what? I'm really, really in this. And when I said I'm really, really in this, I can't even remember what the event was. I think I taught a class about the business, which felt way out of my league, but I thought that's what I'm into. I'm going to do it. And once I did that, things really started to move. And so it's the combination of these essential oils, which have supported me the whole way, and opening up to receive. It's first I have to open my mind to an idea that I have feelings and opinions about, that I might be wrong. That's the first step for me. And P.S., that's the first step to all spiritual growth. It's oh, I might be misguided here,
Yeah.
And then that opening leads to it's I can let the light in on those places that have felt they need to be defended. That's bad, and the light comes in, and the more light that comes in, the more light comes in. So that's my story. I'm so I'll just end with this, and I'll say that the affluence I'm experiencing because of my Young Living journey is financial. I'm experiencing money coming to me in the mail. When you do the business, you can decide to do direct deposit, but I like getting a check in the mail because I haven't had a regular paycheck from somewhere in ever.
Transaction, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I love it. And I put on my altar. And so there's that beautiful piece. There's the beautiful affluence that these essential oils bring me, where every day I feel like a deeply honored queen who yes, I do need to have these oils in my life, even if there's some part of me that thinks it's superfluous. Absolutely not. And then to me right now, the peak, or the heart of it, is the connections I'm making with other people, present company included, completely. Mm-hmm. And that, as a person who's been, running my own business, and I'm a mother, which is a pretty lonely job a lot of the time, is such a blessing in my life, and one that I didn't expect to receive. So it's all these different ways.
So many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
I want to dig into like all of the ways, because everything you just said there, I think, was something when, and I went through the same kind of resistance, because it was when I first found out I was pregnant. So that was like February of this year. It was even earlier than that. It was a little bit earlier, where I really felt my guidance kind of pushing me towards, the word I kept hearing was like affiliate stuff. Like, start doing more affiliates, like start just like, why not, right? Like there's already things that you're using that you like, or maybe there's just, start exploring that. And I was just like, no, like that, I don't know. I was just like, is that really my guidance? I don't know about that. Like, I think I need to create everything all by myself. And like, just, and so this went on for a long time, where I felt really, and what was interesting is that like, then you were just like popping up in my sphere and in my radar. And I sent you that message on Instagram, I think, after one of your stories or some, I don't know, I think you were sharing about your 2 boys, and I was just found out I was going to have 2 kids, and I was kind of freaking out about it. And I was like, but Faye's doing it. Like, she's a channel, and like, you know, like I'm like, she's doing it. Right. So I was like, I need to reach out to this person, Faye. And that was my guidance, was like really, really pushing me there. And, anyway, so kind of long, you know, many months of just like seeing you use the oils and how beautiful they were, and how I kind of had that same, I was like, I wonder how I can get those oils without buying them off of them, right? It was just kind of like, I don't, it was like, I don't, there was a resistance that I definitely had. But then you sent me those beautiful samples. They came with me to Mount Shasta this year, which was like such a big pivot in just my journey. For me, a lot of things became very clear. And when I came back from that, it was like, I need a starter kit. Like these oils were with me on that journey, and so supportive for me. And you could just feel, as a person who is, and I know, and pretty much probably everybody on this call who's watching this, right? You're just like very sensitive to energy. And you can tell when something's really, really, really special. And that's what those little bottles that you sent me, they were right up. I had a little traveling altar, and they were the perfect little, like they were just lined up there. And as I would like journal and integrate what I was going through, these oils were there. And it was just like so clearly like, these are really great. So, and then what's been interesting for me, what I realized very quickly is how I got into this, and I never ever felt, or even was really approached about the business. Actually, I was never even approached about doing the business. It was kind of just one of these things, like, I love these oils so much, and talking to Faye about them feels really good. And like talking to other people and like bringing other people into my sphere and sharing feels really, really good. And so the more of that I just started to lean into, it was kind of that moment you were talking about where you're like, I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to do this. And so, and it was pretty, not pretty, it just felt so guided for me. For where, especially I'm pregnant right now, about to have a baby. We're going to talk a lot about some of these different things, but the amount of support that I felt, just like, not just from these oils, but from like Facebook groups, getting to know you, getting to know Sarah, getting to know the other people, and like the team of other women that are being supported by me making that purchase every month. It was so incredible. So, so it just seemed like, why not? That was the big thing when I was thinking, like, resisting the like, it was kind of just like, well, why wouldn't I? There's no, like, there's really not because, so my experience, I guess I should back up, because I've had a job before where sales was everything. And like, I was kind of, traumatized is a big word, but like I really felt like I was like, do I have to manipulate people? Do I have to like, I don't know, because in that job I really felt like that was part of it, right? Like you had a quota and it was hit, and like if it wasn't, that was a big problem. So you weren't like doing your job or whatever, and that's like not. So I had a little bit of that I was carrying around, but I could see pretty quickly that wasn't going to be the case here at all. So that was a relief. Like not even at all.
No
like,
vibe.
like no, none of it.
None of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to just speak to one thing you said. I think, I guess there's two things that are coming up. One is like personally, because I've run my own business for several years, it's like I found also this resistance to selling anything at all, right? And if you're an entrepreneur, like, like there was just this idea I had that putting myself out there and saying I have something to offer in exchange for money felt like somehow wrong to me. And I'm just here to say, like, that is not wrong. This is like much, there's my neighbor. I'm totally naked and the windows are open, but anyways, that's how I roll. Okay. So, it's all good. He's cool. Okay. It's a much larger conversation, and, it's like digging into this sort of like ancestral and cultural heritage. And especially if you're working in spiritual, like the idea that I'm going to charge money for spiritual services to many seems like totally uncool. This is like a side note, but my point is just, it's okay. We're here on earth. Money is our currency. And when we say currency, it literally means energy, right? Money makes the world go round. And money is not the root of all evil. Money is in fact another form of love that's streaming down to us from our infinite source of God at all times. And when we open up to that channel, and this is my experience, and I come from a family that has a long history of poverty, and I've been super, super, super strapped in my life, like living on $2 a day, hustling to make it through the day. So I understand that it is this piece. I mean, it's complex, right? It's not just about like, well, get more spiritual and the money will come to you. Like, obviously we have these systems and structures, and again, a whole nother conversation. But when I open up to like, hey, I deserve to earn money for what I'm up to here. And it's totally awesome to share what I'm selling, to sell what I'm sharing, because I'm here to serve. And on that note, when I think about, what I'm doing as an ambassador for Young Living, like as a distributor for Young Living, is that I'm acting as an ambassador for Mother Earth. I'm acting as an ambassador for the plants and for the beautiful medicine that they have for us, for like every single part of our life, and the deep longing that they have to connect with us. I get to share that in ways that are like, it's like I have all these different approaches I can use for people who are open to receiving, just some change in their life. And anyways, I that was a little bit of a tangent. I hope that was helpful to somebody out there. But when I remember that, like, it's like, yeah, I think I've covered it, but I wanted to just really reiterate and celebrate what you said about when I make my oil purchase. Okay, not only am I receiving these beautiful oils, but part of my output is going to support other beautiful women. And so one of the reasons I feel like network marketing can feel a little bit creepy is because if you know how affiliate links work, it's usually a little bit different. So it's like, if I have a program and I give Katie an affiliate link, she'll get whatever percentage of my income for everyone who signs up using her link. But then that's it, probably, right? But in this case, it's like, if you sign up and buy your kit with me, but then you decide to do the business, like, my chances of getting more commissions from what you buy, probably they're going to go up, because likely you're going to purchase more to do your research and learn about the products. There's like you do need to commit to buying about $100 of product a month to do the business, and you're in it, like, you're committed and you're going to participate. So yes, like, I do benefit if somebody's like, hey, I'm going to do the business. and I'm going to help you. So it's not just like me lying down and money like flowing to me. Like, I'm working for this. We're working, and we're strategizing all the time about how we can offer support. I know I'm completely supported in my work by the people that are in my upline. But all of that is to say that if someone is like, hey, I love oils and I have no interest in doing the business, I have no interest in you doing the business either. I speak for Katie too, right? Like, on our team, we are here to empower sovereignty and humanity. And so if that's not your highest and best good, I want nothing.
My highest and best good.
Exactly. Or anybody's. And so like, that's not what we're about. So you can pick up on that vibe. I mean, I can say that all day long, but if you see behind the veil and you're like, well, actually, I can see that she's bullshitting, trust your intuition. But you probably are picking up on the fact that that's true, and that when we invite people, or when people express interest in the business, or they say, oh no, thank you, like, absolutely, we're here to support you in the way that feels best for you. And so that's the feeling, that's completely the way that I was supported and approached when I started my business journey. It was like, Sarah was like, how can I help you? Always, and learn as I go, and never any like pressure ever, ever, ever. So that's one thing to know about Young Living and this like beautiful team. We're on a really, really special, beautiful team. And it's not just like our immediate team, but all the way like to the top. I don't know a lot of our upline like far up personally at all, but the vibe that I get is wonderful. So I didn't know that signing up, but my higher self was in the right direction.
It was such a like really beautiful surprise for me too, Faye, was when I signed up. I met you and I was like, this is great. And then I didn't even, and then it like all of a sudden I realized, I was like, oh, of course there's like the upline, right? Which was like a word. I was like, oh, then like, of course somebody enrolled Sarah and somebody who enrolled Sarah, and like, and it goes on. And it's been really just, I was so pleasantly surprised at how lovely that whole line is, and all of the different, Facebook groups and just like, and how everybody is sharing and educating one another is really like, I kind of had one of those moments where it was like, oh, whoa, there's a lot of resource here, a lot of resources. So that's the other thing I really wanted us to discuss. Okay, well, first of all, I think maybe we should mention for anybody who's watching this, if you are like, what are they talking about, like doing the business with Young Living? So pretty much, and I am new at this, so Faye, jump in, or, but pretty much like, if you want to, join Young Living and then sell the products to keep your status of like being in the business, you spend $100, about $100 a month, or $100 PV per month, which usually is about $100. And that's kind of it, right? Like there's no other, right?
Right. Yeah. And it's good to know that like when that 100 PV, so to remember that 100 PV is supporting the people in your upline who are literally working all the time to help you. And so this is a good moment, I think, to touch on like the beautiful aspect and really the goddess, the divine feminine nature of network marketing, where the people who are above us, but it's like really this network, because we're really shoulder to shoulder, but there's people that have been walking a little bit further ahead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that when they do well, I do well.
Yeah.
And when I do well, they do well. So it's this 3D, this third dimensional, tangible, earthly business structure that we're just talking about, where like, if it's not in my highest and best good, it's not in theirs. And if it's not in their highest and best good, it's not in mine. So it's not like some other structures that work in a way where like everybody is just hustling to send resources up a chain to like one finite point at the top. And this is something to keep in mind. This was really helpful to me when I started to open my mind to network marketing, was to remember like, okay, I could go buy oils at some store, okay, which by the way, you guys already know this, they're not going to be anything like Young Living oils. Young Living oils are literally the highest vibe product on the planet that I've ever found, essential oils, certainly. And so I'm going to be putting my money, I'm giving my time, energy, and money to this company, right? And like, yeah, it's going to like go here and there and bless here and there. But like, ultimately, the same thing could be happening, blessing these beautiful women and men on my team, right? Mm-hmm. If I direct my resources through my network marketing chain. And then it comes back to me, like,
right,
multiple fold. So it's, I don't know, it's like this way where I'm like, wow, personally, the more I get into it, and I haven't been doing this business for very long. I signed up, I can't ever remember, but I think I signed up officially in February. Right now it's September. And I was like, maybe I'm going to do it. Like, I wasn't totally closed off to it, but then I really said yes. I think my first commissions check was May. So I'm like, not that, I'm still learning every day. And Katie, you too, like we're kind of like figuring it out together, right? With the help of our support, but the more I work in this way, I'm like, dude, I think I got kind of snowed. Like, I think someone was pulling the wool over my eyes when they like infected me with this idea that network marketing was somehow bad or evil. Because I'm going to say this. And so anytime we talk about money with Young Living, we need to share the income disclosure. So we're going to include that link with this email. So go check it out. So you get an idea of like at what rank people are making how much money. And it's good to look at that, because it's also important to see like, hey, money is not just going to like, it shows like the average amount of hours worked a week or a month. Right. So it's like, it's not just like, hey, sign up, do the business, and money's going to come your way. There's work and effort involved. But this month, my paycheck tripled from last month.
And like, there's no other jobs that's...
No.
People are going to be mailing you a check where that's everything.
Nope.
Nope. Yeah.
So.
Real money.
It's real money, honey. Yeah.
Thing that I kind of realized, so I knew I was going to, I wanted the starter kit. I wanted to get my membership going. And I knew I was going to be spending $100 a month anyway. Like, I kind of realized, I was like, oh, they have all of these, they have laundry detergent, they have toothpaste, they have all of these things that it's like, oh, well, I'll just get it there now. So I knew that I was going to be doing that. And then it was like, oh, well, I've already hit the qualification. Like, I don't have to do anything more except receive the support. So what I'm really trying to get at is that what I realized really quickly is like, yes, there's this income part that is like really beautiful and definitely a motivator, and like you'll be motivated to put the hours in once you look at that income disclosure and you're like, okay, like, and you start planning things out and it's really motivating. The other part that for me, it like blew my mind was that I don't have to be so lonely in my work life anymore, because I'm working from home, mom, like very much in here, right? I'm either like literally right here, or I am like with my daughter in the living room, or like going to the zoo or something. And it's just like, okay. And now there's this whole other stream, like not only like the potential like income stream, but the stream of like people that you can just ask a question and there's an actual resource. And it's not something I have to write. It's not a terms and conditions that I have to like figure out through like Rocket Lawyer or something. It's like actually all done. And like this, I mean, when we're talking about just like doing the business side of Young Living, for me, it like, I was like, why did I not start doing this 3 years ago? And like, what? It just, that for me, it still kind of blows my mind a little bit when I think about how long I've been working so hard, like by myself, and how I thought it had to be that way. And I just kind of like trained myself to think that like, that's how it's going to be. I just, I'm like this like spiritual entrepreneur that, and I certainly have support, but like not the people that you can like talk to about. Like today, Faye and I had a conversation about like, okay, well, is it like MailChimp or like do we blah, 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 blah? And you just get to talk through these things that for me feels like such a huge gift. I don't know how to really put this into words in a way that I hope it's like landing with everyone of like how major that has been for me to be able to see how this is working and like be able to just follow an example. Now, with that said, that doesn't mean that like I'm following a herd or whatever. Like I still very much have my practice and like my business, right? And so do you. And that is why I'm here. But I've got this awesome support system so I can be who I am. And then I just have these like really luxurious tools that I like roll around with. And it's really simple for me to share that. And if someone's interested, amazing. Then like I've got this whole, let us help you out and like get you some oils yourself. And like, it's just like, and then it's like done. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. I don't have to like manage another website really. Like that was all actually pretty easy. So I just say that because I think for the longest time I was telling, and I think why I was resisting any sort of like guidance to what I thought was, like work more with affiliates or like bring, it just was more of a guide of like bring more support in, right? Like bring more of that in. And I think part of the reason I was like resisting that was for so long I told myself like, okay, it's my name on the business. Yeah. Everything's got to be made by me. I've got to touch it all. Like I kind of got a little bit just like holding it all in and not allowing in any like
precious,
right? Exactly. And like, I just, through this experience, even though I'm new to it, that has totally shifted the way that I'm like thinking about everything, the way I'm thinking about like, okay, where can I like collaborate more and like make it easier, right? And like receive more support, receive more abundance and all of that. It's just kind of like flipped my head a little bit in the way that I thought I had to make my, the large amount of money that I am aiming to make.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I sure do. And, well, you jogged so many points for me. And I think, okay, so yes, like empires need finances is one thing that you said, Katie, and a lot of finances. And we're here to serve Earth and serve humanity. And we're here to have like an easeful, prosperous life. That is truly everyone's destiny. That is like what we are meant to do, is to have like beautiful, fulfilling lives. It doesn't mean it has to be opulent or extravagant, but to feel fulfilled and not be in this like, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, this like fear-based reality. And I think that, sometimes the cart goes before the horse. I think that even if you have like large sums of money flowing towards you, if you have fear, like you still have fear, So I do think it's like really about spiritual work. And I just want to say something on that point, which is about the opportunity to work with women in this way and what that can bring up, and like really what that means in terms of opportunities for growth. And Katie had talked about like jealousy and how sometimes, because we're, probably everybody on the planet understands what it is to see someone else doing well and feel like, oh man, like they're doing well. Like I suck, like, oh my God, their post got like 190,000 likes. Like I might as well just go to bed, Right. And that this is an opportunity to see, like, when I see my teammates succeeding, I literally also am succeeding with them, which is true like when anyone in humanity gets a score, like we all get a score, Right. And so if my teammates are scoring and I'm getting the cash flow thanks to that, like, yeah, that's awesome. So it's an opportunity to rework jealousy templates that I think especially women are sort of like ingrained to marched in, and especially in business, in a way where we are truly here to support each other and to lift up humanity, with the help of these plant angels. And one other fear that I've had about doing this is that like relationship building is risky. like we're building a business together basically. And so what happens if like someone has a nervous breakdown, or like what happens if like we don't agree, or what happens if like somehow which is like maybe going to happen because we're human beings. Right. And so stuff's going to come up, and that for me looks like an opportunity. And maybe that's not true for everybody, but this is how I see it, is like, I don't have to live in fear. I mean, it's like always this opportunity to check myself when I'm in fear. And that those moments in business, right, where like, if we don't agree about whatever, how this should be done or that should be done, like, oh, right. Like we get to take a deep breath. We get to say a prayer. We get to maybe take some space, and we get to come back to the table and like find a miraculous solution that works for everybody. What? Like, that's what this network literally is presenting me with. I mean, I haven't had any struggles like at all so far, but, I will say I have had feelings like in situations where like I thought someone was going to sign up and they didn't sign up. And I felt like, oh no, did I do something wrong? Which is, this is true in all different, ventures. You guys know the drill, but that it's just an opportunity to like connect deeply more with my own, experience of God, higher self, sweet spirit, whatever you believe in.
Yeah.
So that's so beautiful, because usually, just like you said, Katie, it's all me all the time. And that's cool. I'm grateful, but it's It can be lonely,
It can get lonely, and it can get a little bit, it can be hard to move the energy sometimes too.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing that I've noticed. That's what's happening for me, is like, since I've introduced this aspect, if I get stuck on something with like katieburke.co or like the Modern Priestess or whatever I'm working on that's like just mine, and I kind of get to that place where I'm just like hitting a wall, or like I need to take a breath, I can go be with my oils, or go like explore some like really fun, idea for like a Facebook class, or like what, maybe I'll plan out, what do I want to do next month that could be like a fun thing to, I don't know, whatever it is. Like there's this other thing that I have that's like a little bit it's just very light. It's not like my name and my work and my legacy and like all the things that it's just like can sometimes get like, okay, that's a little ridiculous. Like we need to step away from that way of thinking and just like go do this other thing. So I've been able to like move my own energy really quickly and check myself really quickly, because there's this other thing that I can put my energy into and love and nurture and focus on. And by doing that, it puts me back into like a really healthy place. And like, then I can go do the thing that was like making me crazy with a lot more clarity, and just like, oh, of course, I'll just like, we'll do it this way. And like, that makes sense.
It's like, sorry to interrupt, Katie.
No,
it's like, well, when you're parenting, sometimes you get so in it with your kid. I do, at least, like where you're like, you have to eat this much broccoli and da-da-da. And like last night, actually, a woman came over with her kids, and just like 5 minutes watching her with her kids and hanging out with her kid was like this huge breath of fresh air, where I was like, it's not my kid. It's not like my like da-da-da-da-da. And I was like able to come back to my son with like an entirely different point of view. So it's the same, not that my network marketing business isn't like my child, like my regular business, but it's just like this, it's more, there's so much more of an extended family vibe, because it like didn't come out of like my soul.
Yes, that's exactly how it's felt. Like, oh, that's such a good analogy. Yeah.
It's like your nieces, not your daughter. I just want to touch on two things, and I don't know if anybody has questions, but do you want to see if anybody has questions?
Yeah, let me see.
So far, the chats are people resonating, so love you guys.
I didn't even see. Here we are.
You see those chats?
I didn't even see the chat box. Sorry. Okay.
Do you guys, well, here's what I was going to say is that we named this class Affluence, and I want to just say a note about affluence, which the definition of affluence, which is slightly different. Hi, Jillian. Yay. Hi. Is slightly different than abundance, which is great too. But affluence means a steady, even flow back and forth. And so if you have any misconceptions, and we've already talked about this, but like that you sign up to do the business and you're just like plugged into like money just raining down on you out of nowhere, like, yes, money comes from nothing, but it's like, it is an even exchange. Like there is work to be done.
Yeah.
And it is all, to me, I mean, I find it really fun and beautiful. And I also just wanted to say that you were talking about doing a class, Katie, like which class do I want to do? The beautiful thing about this is that you can make it your own. You can do it in your own style, like literally your own images, your own photos, like your own text. Like you can talk about like, we talk about plant angels. Like we're talking about like sharing the love of Best First Steps. Got it, Kate? Sharing the love of Mother Earth. Like, I like to talk about sharing my womb blood with Mother Earth to like really participate in this exchange of affluence. I always got to bring up the womb blood because essential oils are the blood of the plant. So to say thank you and to connect with Mother Earth, not just because of essential oils, but now especially I share my blood with my garden, which is, I mean, it's a good idea no matter what. But
Yeah.
so it's this beautiful even flow of exchange. And I had one more little thing that I wanted to mention. Oh, diversifying your income is wise.
This was the
And
whole reason I wanted to actually do this class, was like the first, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no, yeah, that it's like it's smart. It's a smart business move. So no matter like who you are or what you're up to, but if you have a business already, like um, the other thing is that like you can pace yourself. Like you don't have to hustle like every day you can decide like, hey, this is how much time I have to give to my oil business, and you'll grow at your own pace. And this is here's another point, is that so Sarah, who is our oil boss, is what I call her, she grew like really fast in the beginning because Sarah had like a really well established following. She had like a really popular blog. And so she grew really, really fast. And honestly, I saw that and I was like, cool, like that's going to happen for me too. And then I was like, where's all my peeps? Like I gotta work. Okay.
Yeah. Where's my huge team?
Where's my thousands of kit sales right away, And what I have found and what Sarah has shared is like, she grew at the perfect pace for her circumstances, right? Like Spirit knew, and Spirit knows for me, like how much extra right now work I can handle.
Yes.
Probably not a lot more, So like you can grow at totally your own pace and learn as you go. It's beautiful to start where you are and just ask for help and know that like, it's like you don't have to aim to be like Royal Crown Diamond like next month or even next year, so
yeah.
So there's that. So diversifying your income, and then remembering that passive income streams like really don't exist. So the idea that you are going to and you don't want them, we don't want them to exist. Like the things that we create into the world, they are our responsibility, and the things that we receive from the world, they become the gifts that come. And so we want to be involved in these diverse income streams, which is another reason why this is so wonderful, right? Because you can, even though it's like Katie was talking about, like it's not your soul's legacy, like,
right.
But you can make it your own and infuse, infuse the samples you're sending to your people with your energy and like your vibration, and how beautiful that is.
But, like cardstock and stamps that I really like for like, right? Because it's like, I do still get to make this really fun. So if I'm going to send out samples, I want my seat, like literally to stamp it, right? And like put in that whole, I love ritual. So all of that has to go into that for me. And then there was something else that you mentioned that really resonated, and maybe it's left me, but this, okay, the baby steps question is like kind of like ringing in my head, and I would love to speak to that. And Faye, you probably have things you want to share too, but like, because I'm in the baby steps phase, right? So what I have found to be the really, really helpful for me is making myself an expert in these oils. So that has felt like a really empowering thing for me to build some confidence to speak about essential oils as somebody who knows somewhat with, I mean, there's obviously the time and place for like, I don't know, let me go check, or like, I'm actually not, you know, an expert at that specific thing that you're talking about, but like some really wonderful baby steps. And these are baby steps, but just getting, and you can do this even if you're not running the business, but just getting some apps on my phone that have literally, what is it called? It's a wonderful app. And it like keeps track of the oils that you have. It's not Oily Tools, but that's one of them. Oh, it's just called Essential Oils, but it's a Young Living app. And so I just find myself scrolling through there, learning, and so that has been one of my favorite baby steps. And then the other is just, especially with the starter kit, like really learning, like going, like nerding out about Panaway, because I found like, I was just like, this stuff is incredible. And I'm using it every night. I mean, it's part of my nightly routine. So I just like, so that was, those have been some of my favorite baby steps, because again, it's not really like the people who are responding with interest. It's because I'm like, I have to tell you about Panaway. Like, it is this like oil that I like can't live without now. And so, and that's really like what people are attracted to. It's not, there's nothing else about like, I just want to feel really educated so that I can share really well. So that's been my favorite thing to do when I'm like, I don't know what to be doing in my Young Living business. It's like, well, just like go spend time with the oils and learn about them. And that's what I've been doing. And it's been one of my favorite ways to kind of baby step in. So
my baby is like cracking up outside the door. It's so cute. He's like, yes. Can you hear him?
I can now.
Like, yes. Yeah. So yeah, this is Kate. Thank you for that question. Kate asked the question, what are the best first steps? And that's, I think the best thing to do is to use your oils and to get to know your oils and to connect with your own. One thing Katie and I mentioned together, like way back, was like, Katie said like, oh, there was part of me that didn't want to sign up because someone I admire would probably never do this kind of business. Yes. And I had the thought of like, well, I once had a teacher who did sell Young Living oils, so maybe it's good. And to just remind everybody to look into your own heart every step of the way. And remember, because I think that's like maybe one of the risks of this kind of work is like, you're like, oh my God, we're doing this. Like we're doing this, to remember to stay true to your heart, grounded in your body, and like clear in why you're interested in these essential oils, right? Like these essential oils have saved my butt so many times, and they make me feel incredible, and I love them. They are one of the best parts of my day, hands down. And I know that they can help anybody, you know? So I think just praying and meditating is a great first step. And then being involved in the Facebook groups, even if like you're not into Facebook, just FYI everybody, if you're not super into Facebook, there is a way that you can connect to the groups on Facebook without being like in the news feed. It's called the Groups app, so that you just get notifications about groups. So you don't see like your ex-boyfriend from 12 years ago, you know, his political opinions, right? It's smart. Yeah. So, but the Facebook groups, and everyone is welcome to join our oil education group, Oil Tuition. You can reach out to either of us if you'd like to join, and just like go and look around. And if you're a Young Living member and you're like committed to buying 100 PV and checking out this business thing, we can add you to our business group and you can go check it out. Like, and you know, see what people are up to. And like the first steps that I did were sharing samples, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Nicole. Like sharing samples, giving samples away. Your premium starter kit comes with sample bottles, so you don't even have to, and it comes with those little sample pack, like the little Band-Aid kind of pack of oil. So you can just give those out and let the oils speak for themselves, really, you know? And then I share about my oils on the internet because they're a part of my life. I carry a bag of oils with me and I use them because I do that anyways. And then if somebody asks, I let them know. And then if you're like, hey, I want to do a class. I mean, these are like bigger steps, but again, I think the thing to remember is that everybody's going to come to the table with their own strengths and their own desires and their own like interest in how to work with essential oils, and have their own like already established networks. So connecting with your own heart will always be like the best resource. And then you can always reach out to either of us, and we're happy to help you if you're stuck or you're like, I don't even know what this PV thing is, for instance. Like, we're totally here to talk to you about that. Like, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up, because that conversation happening in my head about my mentor, who just would like, she would like, this is not her thing. This is like the thing. And that was holding me down forever. And then finally my guidance was like, because I kept like, well, you know, what would so-and-so do? What would so-and-so do? She wouldn't do it. And then finally my guides were like, well, what would Katie Burke do? And
that's right.
Sell Young Living. Like, what, can we end this like horrible mental conversation that you're torturing yourself with? It was just, yeah, it was such a good check-in.
Did you see what Sarah just wrote? She said, I thought Faye was judging me with every post that I made, right? Sarah just like made up this story. And this has happened to me too. Actually, when Katie reached out to me, I was like, Katie? Like, and I had another woman reach out to me, and I mean, whatever, it didn't like pan out, but she reached out to me. She's like, I think I want some oils. This woman that I was like, dude, I know you're judging me, right? Like, Sarah thought I was judging her, thinking like, how could you be doing network marketing? And like, look, I'm on board, you know? So just what would Katie Burke do? Well, what would you do? That's the most beautiful question.
Yeah.
Alyssa had a question, but Alyssa, it looks like Sarah answered it about the feelings kit and signing up with the feelings kit. So chime in, Alyssa, if you need more help with that. We're here for you. Does anybody else have any questions? I wasn't judging you, Sarah. I was loving you.
Yeah. I just had that moment today, actually, where a friend reached out to me, and I was like, really? Okay.
You? Okay. Yeah. And just remember, you guys, it's not about us. Like, it's really about connecting with Earth. I mean, I don't know. That's my own opinion, you know?
Well, and this was the big kind of, because I didn't understand it quite right. When you're guided into these situations, and then I'm like looking through my starter kit, and I'm kind of having this moment of just like, wait, this is great, but I'm still like it feels like there's a deeper, like, why is this coming into my life? Because when I could just feel that when that starter kit arrived, I was just like, there's something, what's going on with my life right now? There's something changing. And for me, it was like, here is like the really accessible way. Are you grabbing your bottles? I literally just turned around and grabbed my bottles. You need your diffuser on. Yeah.
I had to turn on my diffuser with my remote, my Aria.
So for me, it was like, you need to be connecting with the plants much more in a way. And for a long time, I worked with flower essences. I was making, I have beautiful tea ritual, but like the potency of these and the luxurious aspect of these, it for me is what, like, I love how luxurious this is. This is like, it is very much, it's very queenly to be anointing yourself every day with these oils. It's really, really incredible. And so I'm motivated to use them and to work with them because of that factor, because they are so beautiful in so many different ways. And so that was, for me, for sure, it was like, that was like the like root of it. It was like, you need to be connecting with these plant allies, with these plant angels, in an intimate way, and like supporting your home and your body and your family. And it's been so fun. Like, this is, Lincoln, my daughter loves lavender. She was like requesting lavender in the car today. And I was like, okay. And it's just, and my husband's totally like stealing my oils, and literally.
Dude, last night Forrest was in his room getting his diaper changed because, yes, he's 3 and he still isn't potty trained. But anyways, he said to my husband, he was like, Papa, the plant needs some oil. It looks sick. And Adam was like, what oil? And Forrest said, he needs some harmony. And they went and anointed the plant in his room with some harmony. So, yeah, I mean, it's like, I was like, oh God, so sweet. I know, harmony. I know, Forrest, he's so great. But I just also want to chime in and say, like, whoa, because I mean, I never really put this together, but I'm pretty sure there's like, I can think of like 5 or 6 people on our team that have had like that exact same calling. That's what my calling was, like, you have to work with plants. I was like, I don't want to do herbs. Like, and like,
it's not, okay, I will say, for me,
yeah,
it's not practical once I became a mother. I
yeah.
was growing herbs, drying herbs, storing herbs, doing all of things with herbs.
And no beef against herbs. We love herbs.
Oh, I love herbs, but like we had to move, and like I couldn't keep that garden going, and like and I love plant. I mean, and I love that I'm connected with some people that have gardens, and I can like go like do that vicarious thing that I used to be able to do, but my life isn't set up in a way right now where that like works for me. So this is like, I'm so grateful that this came in, because I've really missed working with the plants every day.
Yep.
And when you have a garden, like it's especially like an herb garden or something, you're out there almost every day and like really tending to them, really like receiving from them and giving. And anyway, so yeah, it's been huge medicine for me.
Yep.
That spiritual aspect. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, Sarah's chiming in, same thing. Oh yeah, Nicole says her man used the last of the valor. And then Sarah said a story I made up in my head. So I just want to say, like, my takeaway from this whole thing about network marketing is, if you have a weird vibe about network marketing, and if someone you know has a weird vibe about network marketing, that's fine. You let them be. Don't worry about it. Like, if you are willing to check in with yourself and like get clear on who you are and what you're here to do and what you really feel about this opportunity, do it. Like, do that. And maybe it's not the right opportunity for you, and that's, go do what is the right opportunity, and we'll totally pray and support you in that 180%, but if it is the right opportunity for you, like, come on, jump in. And I don't mean that in like join up now, but like, really, like, there's no strings attached. There's like nothing to lose at all. And we're here for you. And we have an incredible, like literally an incredible, immaculate team of high visionary leaders who are like, oh, I get it. I get it. Yeah. So yeah. Look inside. What's true for you? That's the question.
Yeah, that is really so important. I'm kind of looking through our notes, and we're right at an hour.
Yeah.
So that's great. And I feel like we covered a lot of it.
Me too. Does anybody have any questions still lingering?
I do want to read what Sarah wrote, because in the recording,
thank you.
Be able to see this, because I love this, because okay, so Sarah, her husband Tom is an herbalist, and we just can't keep up with 2 kids doing all the blends and teas. It's a lot of work. He used to be elitist about the dry herbs, but now he uses oils all the time, and it's so much easier and more accessible to daily life, for sure. Like, I know how much work goes into that, and the storage, and like just the tending, and it's a very, very processed thing. I hope that once my children are older, I can get back into that and do all of that again, because it's lovely, but like, it's a ton of work. Yeah, so if there's any other questions, I'd love to field them. Otherwise,
yeah, I don't think anybody's chiming in. I think we did a good job.
Yeah.
Thanks, Katie. Thanks, everybody, for joining. We love you.
Yeah, lots of love to everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.
Nighty-night.